On means that you're not going to work. Hey, welcome! Are we live? We are so live here at LASC's open mic night. Tonight it is Wacky Wednesday, and it's wacky because I'm here, and it's Wednesday because this thing makes me look fat. Just tonight. Normally it doesn't, but it makes me look fat. It makes me feel fat. Now I feel like I'm just being condescending to the male people. Right, did I say that? Not enough women in this room. That's okay. We have some hormones to lend you. Can you just imagine? Like my husband coming out? Oh my God, I got cramps. The worst cramps. Men could never have cramps. They could never have cramps. I'm pissed in blood. You imagine? Look out with the bathroom. Ah! You'd be just like, take one of these with you. What's the matter with you? Oh my God, men! I mean, I never do time. There was a musical you should know about because you guys are in this class. If you don't know about this, not class, but you know what I mean, because we don't give this away. But it was called Funny Business. It was a rock and roll musical about stand-up comedy, and I opened at the Kennedy Center, and it was phenomenal to be able to sing, dance, tell jokes, and I play an obnoxious waitress in a comedy club. And the whole time I have to walk around with these drinks while I'm doing all this stuff. And I got carpal tunnel syndrome. And it was terrible. I was shaking the drinks. I was falling down. So finally they had to tape them, and then they got glycerin glasses. Why didn't they do that in the first place? Wouldn't that be the best move? You know, where it looks like it's there, but it's not moving? But the first song was, just when you thought you found true romance, all he ever wanted was to get in your pants, man. And I was like, okay, that sounds like comedy. And then there was this other piece, and like all the comics come out and they walk to this wall and they go, this is the place we come to pray. All of our dreams come true one day. And the woman who's the star of the Housewives of Orange County was singing the solo part. I was in a show with her. It was crazy. And Craig Shoemaker. I was in a show with them. We'll sing. And she's like, this is the place that I wait for my name to be called. Keep a stiff upper lip, walk the line. And Craig says, I hope you don't fall. And we walk like zombies. Anything can happen. Everyone knows. Soon we can all be rolling in dough. Why am I showing you this? Because this is not a black play. Can you imagine? There's no rhythm to it. That's all I got to say. Speaking of rhythm, a lot of people don't know what's going on in the world. I'm one of those people. Why? Because I'm so tied up to the people I love at the LA School of Comedy. Let's give a round of applause for your comedy concierge. Samantha Linderman is in the house. She is here. She is here for me. And, of course, you guys who drive me crazy about your footage, the one and only media man himself, Jason Ham I am, right there. We're going to lose him soon. Someone's going to scrape him up, give him $1 million, and you're going to marry them. And then we're going to we're going to take over the whole block, all right? We just take it over. We have everybody wear their hair like us. That's the way we do it. We could pray on this. We could try this. And, you know, it is definitely an interesting time, and I don't like to talk about it because I'm not politically correct. Today I was going to post something, and Samantha was like, no, you can't do that. And I was like, because she's a kid. So I read it to my husband. He goes, you didn't put that anywhere, did you? And I was like, maybe. He's right. But this place would not exist if it was not for the toil, the work, the sweat, the tears, the blood, the fighting, the screaming, the love and the support that he has given me. I thank you to my husband. I thank you so much. And I want you to share a few words with us. Do you mind? Mark Zaffron on the mic. Come on. Tell us how you really feel. Mark, come on. Mark.
You realize, of course, that this is a very bad time in history to actually give me a mic.
Any time is a bad time in history to give you a mic. Let's do it, Mark. Why not? I've been canceled before. You can't cancel.
I've been canceled already.
Okay, well, don't fall. You know, I did it wrong. I'm sorry. Put it back here.
Oh, is there,
No. Do it the right
there's
way.
finally a protocol for the rudeness around here?
Stop that.
I'm just curious, you know. There aren't enough of you in the audience for me to get really ridiculous.
Believe me, they're watching.
Yeah, I know they are. I'm just curious who's watching. All right. So, you know, what were we thinking about today as I'm watching the news and watching a repeat of my life? See, I am from the Vietnam generation. I remember protests. I remember real protests. We had flowers. We sang songs. We smoked pot. And it was illegal in those days, so it wasn't really very good. We had these tiny little joints with strawberry paper. None of us knew how to roll. We had all kinds of pejorative names for the joints, which my wife can talk about, not me. So, everybody sit around and be all the kumbaya movement and everything else. There were always a couple of guys in the audience, women and men, that were always screaming and hollering and more radical than the rest of us. Today, they're called professors. Because all of the people I grew up with that were mentally disturbed, all right, had taken entirely too much LSD, all right, and thought they were smarter than everybody, are now teaching your kids. It's scary, by the way. These were the people we beat up. They all looked the same. They had scraggly beards because they didn't have enough testosterone. The women, you knew where they were headed. I shouldn't say that, but they did favor the butch cut. In those days, things were very, very different. Gay people were not out except when they went to college. So here I am today looking at all these big signs and this incredible anti-Semitism, which is fascinating, because if any of you think it ever went away, you're out of your minds, all right? Truth is, Columbia has always been an anti-Semitic place. All these universities, they didn't want Jews there, all right? But that's not the point. The point is that my children cost me $750,000 to go away to college. Thank God I didn't have to pay for them to listen to drivel, because none of them, at least my youngest, never took an academic course in 3 years of college. She's at the Liverpool Institute of Performing Arts, Eindhoven. And Aviva went to Tisch, which meant she was acting all the time. Very performative. But there wasn't that much of the, getting involved with I don't remember my daughter taking a class called Gender Studies or Colonialism, or cross-sectionality. And here's the fascinating part about all of this. When I see a bunch of kids running around applauding Hamas, okay, there is no equivalency. Let us all be straight. War sucks, all right? It is not a pretty thing. It never changes, okay? Somebody comes into your country and does something to you, you do something to them, all right? There's any solution is simple, although I did come up with a good one today. So the Columbia protesters want Columbia University, which has an endowment fund large enough to feed, house, for the next 100 years, every single migrant in America plus the homeless, without really making a dent in the fund, by the way, because all they use it to do is pay that idiot president $5 million a year. Divest. All the universities should get rid of all the stock of all of the companies that invest in Israel or invest in General Dynamics or invest in, GM. Because by the time they're finished digging through how deep the military-industrial complex is, they will actually get a college education. Take all that money and they should invest it in, and I made a list today, of all of the wonderful corporations that Barack Obama backed for solar power and wind power. Solyndra, every last one of them is bankrupt. They can also invest all that money in every climate corporation, all of which don't make a penny. They're all bankrupt. That's what they want. Give kids what they want. I learned that with mine, And really what the real problem was, as my wife always said, none of these kids ever got an ass whooping. You know whose kid never got an ass whooping? Elon Omer. This kid has never been hit. All right? So here she is. She's standing there crying, moaning and groaning, how she's homeless, how she has no food to eat. And I'm thinking to myself like this, and I turn around to my wife, and I said, Elon Omer is a terrible mother. Which one of us middle-class parents sent our kids away to school without a MasterCard? Name one. All you. I don't know where you came from. Your parents, they sent you away to college with a credit card for emergencies. You weren't allowed to use it for Uber. You weren't allowed to use it for Grubhub, and you weren't allowed to use it for anything else. But you had that credit card. So she complained about her clothes and everything else. She didn't look dirty. She took a shower somewhere, you know. And then I saw what they were eating. They were ordering pret-a-porter. Has anybody ever walked into a pret-a-porter and ordered an $18 sandwich that looks like something that was made, by white people for tea? You know those little sandwiches where they cut off the crusts and there's like a little spread of tuna fish? You know, $18 for that. So I'm watching the world, you know, and I realize it, and I'm saying to myself, okay, I'm a complete fucking dinosaur. All right? I'm an oppressor. How did I become an oppressor? I've been oppressed my whole life. I got a Jewish mother and a black wife. You don't get any more oppressed than that. Oh, and 2 daughters. All right? I'm certainly not oppressing anybody else because I'm too busy working to support their oppression. I mean, really, when we get down to it, and I can't see any of your faces. I don't know what age group you come from. I don't really care about your political beliefs because this isn't political. This is an issue of morality. And that's, you know, I really didn't want to have to say this, but I will. All right? We, in America, or as humans, we don't applaud terrorism. Terrorism is not a political statement. Terrorism is a reflection of people's frustrations. And we don't applaud people who murder children, because that's basically what it was, cut their heads off, put babies in ovens, and say it's in the name of freeing Palestine. I don't care what you're freeing. It's just, as the British said, it's just not done. All right? And then we also are not supposed to applaud a situation which leads to people using artillery to have to get rid of the people who just slaughtered your people. That's just not done either. We have to come to a different solution. Now, of course, as my wife will tell you, I know who's to blame for this, starting with Jimmy Carter and Barack Obama, all right? But mostly Barack Obama, all right? Well, actually, you know, his real name, Muhammad. But that's neither here nor there. It's a personal preference, all right? But these are not things we do. We don't hate people because they're of a certain religion, because we don't get along with them politically. We don't stand outside and point fingers and say things that we don't know. So I'm going to end it with this. As my family hates me for, I am an aficionado of Fox News. In addition to Fox News, I also tend to watch CNN and MSNBC, except when Joy Reid is on, because I can't, or Rachel Maddow, because I just want to push their faces in. All right? But on the other hand, I have been known on occasion to watch Don Lemon. I need the comic relief. And Chris Fredo Cuomo. All right? And a couple of other people. But the point is, I also read the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, and the Post on a daily basis. So I don't feel so bad in the morning watching Fox News when they get so upset. There's a guy on Fox News by the name of Lawrence Jones. Lawrence Jones is a very good interviewer. He's a very erudite man. So Lawrence Jones was interviewing these 2 college students in Michigan or wherever they were, very, very fancily wearing their Lawrence of Arabia keffiyehs. And listen, read the 7 Pillars of Wisdom. The man was a fucking lunatic. All right? Don't believe the bullshit about Lawrence. So here I am watching these kids, and basically he asked them the simple question. You're saying from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Do you know which river you're talking about? They didn't. And then he said to them, well, do you know what happened on October 7th? Oh, well, hasn't that been disproven? And I'm realizing that this is just what someone else said. This is really just, how should we call it? Gaza spring break? When you look at the kids on the lawn there, none of them have their laptops out doing their Zoom classes. Why? Because they know the professors are going to give them a pass. They're going to get credit for being out on the lawn. They're going to all get A's because, you know, there's only one thing they're not getting. They're not getting jobs at hedge funds. They forgot. All the hedge fund managers are Jews. They ain't getting jobs. And they ain't getting jobs they ain't getting, well, wait, it's not funny, Sunda. Bill Ackman, Pershing Fund, ain't getting no jobs there. This is what they've done. You took Columbia University and the Ivy League, and the first thing we have to do is prohibit them from using the name Ivy League. Right? There's nothing Ivy about them. They're just a bunch of people with too much money. It really comes down to that. There is no reason a college professor makes more than $25,000 a year. That's about what they're worth. And the real problem is the talking, the oppressors, the colonialism. My wife's not going to like this, but my brother-in-law, a black man, died in his 40s. Now, all these people worrying about intifada now, revolution now. I sound like my parents in '62 when I was out at the moratorium against the war in Vietnam, which, by the way, I did have a very low draft number. Okay? You guys don't know what a draft number is. Just thinking about it, I'm watching this, and I'm thinking about the equivalency and the yelling and the screaming. And I'm just touched by three particular signs. Queers for Palestine, LGBTQ for Palestine, and trans for Palestine. So my wife's been talking about this for the last couple of days, and I actually went to the statements of the founders. It's a book it's like the Talmud for the Quran. Wow. You don't really want to know what the rules are against being homosexual in a Muslim country, okay? And so that proved one thing to me, or two. One, none of them are getting an education. Two, if they are getting an education, it isn't very good. And three, most of these professors should be put up against the wall and shot. You can't train people to commit suicide. That's what they're doing. We are training our children to commit economic, political, and moral suicide. I knew everybody wanted to be funny. I'm sorry I brought the room down. If you want, I will make fun about my favorite people to make fun of, starting with Barack Obama, who hasn't said anything, or Joe Biden, who had a great speech today. 4 more years, pause. Or maybe Donald Trump. He did look a little orange in court today, although I know a bit about the law behind all that, being an unrepentant lawyer, which I'm semi-proud of. At least I know what the law is. But I'll finish with this. It's nice that we have an open mic, we have an open forum, but what's going on ain't funny. This is not funny. This is not funny. This is not healthy. These are people who are going to try to go out and make a living, and there just isn't that much room for another 50,000 baristas. I mean, really. I mean, I can't even get decent service in Manhattan. Listen, here's the bottom line. I loved living in Manhattan when I used to be able to go to dinner at 10 o'clock. Not have to rush out of my house because they're closing at 10 o'clock, because nobody of maybe you guys' generation wants to wait tables anymore. What do they want? They want to be congressional pages. They want to be assistants to politicians. They want to be changers of the world. I need a fucking waiter. Maybe a bartender. Something. I mean, the only restaurant I can eat in there past 10 o'clock is owned by Koreans. That's because they have the whole fucking family in there working, right down to the kids go bowing, giving you your plate, serving you your little chicken wings. I mean, it's crazy. The whole COVID, forget this. Please, do you realize that I have to work still to make a living and Fauci is living the life of luxury after infecting the entire country with a manufactured virus? And lying about it. I mean, maybe it's not funny. Maybe I'm telling bad jokes. I don't know. None of you are laughing. Maybe I shocked the shit out of you. All right? But think about it. When you get up to make your humor, it doesn't have to be about the size of your penis. All right? It doesn't have to be about your lack of a sex life, which seems to be a theme around here. You could make fun of what people say outside in this space without fear of being canceled. Because that's what comedy's about. Be Chappelle.
God bless
Now that I've gotten it off my chest, I want all of you to take out your books. There you go. There you go. There you go. Take it out. Write it all down. All right. Get them jokes down. So, okay. Sit there and seethe that maybe I've said something that offends somebody, and if I did, I'm extraordinarily happy about it. Thank you very much.
You stopped at Chappelle. I thought you were going to name all the great comics.
John Lovitz.
John Lovitz was on today, my husband's brother.
Oh, I do have something funny. Here we go.
Okay.
Actually, there was a comic that we grew up with around L.A. by the name of Joey Diaz. Joe, you love Joey? Yeah. Okay. So I'm sorry, Joey, but you're gonna laugh anyhow. So they did a clip on YouTube of Joey Diaz with Joe Rogan, two of my favorite comics. I happen to know they know each other very well. They spent a lot of time on the floor at a Comedy Store together. All right? So that Joey Diaz is talking about Studio 54. So I call Sunda in and I say, Sunda, what's the first thing Joey Diaz said? And she goes, cocaine.
Well, if you knew anything about Studio 54, you know there's a lot of cocaine and a lot of cockroaches.
A lot of cocaine.
And a lot of cockroaches. Like if you put your Coke on the banister, the roaches would run right through it. And people still did a line. You know why? Because they got high. Now they go, that's it. I'm only kidding. But you should not be doing lethal drugs like my wife is black and my mother's Jewish. What a horrible life for this man. That means he don't get a chance. He don't get no kind of chance. Well, let me tell you who's got a chance. This gentleman coming up comes to us from many different places, and I'm really happy to have him. And it's not just us. It's me, you, and Craig Bruss. Let's do this. Come on, Craig.
Well, basically, I was thinking earlier, and I was thinking about actually the first time I actually started getting interested in sex was in 8th grade. I was in my early teens, and I was watching TV and flipping through the channels, and I came across the Home Shopping Network. If you don't know what the Home Shopping Network is, it's like an infomercial kind of thing where these cute, classy women are modeling jewelry, like rings, bracelets, gold necklaces, silver, skin creams, clothing. I've always been into older women, like hot moms. And but that's actually when it hit me. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? I actually felt like Pinocchio. I'm not a puppet, I'm a real boy. But that's when it hit me, and that was the year I was snooping around my dad's room, and he had a large water bed. Below the water bed was some drawers. I looked in the drawers, and I found 1970s, early 80s Penthouse nudie magazines. And I looked through the magazines, and I was like, wow, like people these days, they do shave down there in the pubic area. They change the colors like red, blue, orange. And in the 70s, they had big ball fro. It looked like a jungle. Like I want to put on army jungle boots and dive right in, you know? But my dad, he came home kind of tipsy from the bar. He's like, he knew I was in his room. He knew what I was looking at, the magazines. And he's like, Craig, we're going to have a little chat about the birds and the bees. Now, there's two types of women that you're going to have sex with. One is the kind of women you don't really care about, and wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And after sex, you're going to be like, well, thank you very much. And then the other woman is the one you care about, you love, you're in a relationship, and after sex, you're like, I love you, honey. That was great. Let's do it again. Like, great, Dad. Craig, when I met your mother, no, Dad, I don't want to talk about it. Craig, you listen to me. Dad, I heard it 100 times about Mom. Craig! I felt like I was playing Marco Polo with my dad. Marco Polo is like, Craig! Dad! Craig! Dad! Craig! When I met your mother, she had sexy legs, okay? I was listening to the wrong head, the head down there. When I'm saying Craig, Craig! Craig! What I'm saying is, listen to the head that thinks, not the head that winks, okay? And get to know her, Craig, because when you get to know her, when I got to know your mom, her true colors showed out. I couldn't wait to get the hell away from her, Craig. I hid in a bar somewhere, and she found me. She found me, Craig! Craig! And she found me. So there you are. You're coming home now. I made chili. Great chat, Dad. Awesome talking with you. But it was 1999, my senior year in high school, and that's when like the internet was pretty new. We had AOL, and it took forever to connect to the landline. It was like, dude, you got mail. But it's the first time I actually looked at a porn site. I typed in like hot mommy sucks, whatever. Ended up in a chat room, and somebody was typing, and I asked a question. CDL, are you a woman? Reply, no, you dumb fuck. Some dummy here, some dummy. I got booted off the chat room, and my dad was charged $400 on his phone bill. He goes, Craig, just walk down the street and buy a magazine. It's cheaper. Yes, sir. And after I graduated high school, I came home from work one night, and he was sitting on the couch upright like this with his hand down his girlfriend's pants. And he met her at a bar, and they were like this. So I'm like, okay, Dad, that's cute. I'm going to go downstairs into the basement. In Wisconsin, we have basements. So I went downstairs to the basement to my bedroom, and then I hear her go, are you fishing again, Bob? I just cracked up. That was awesome. Yeah, that was a trip. But anyways, my name is Craig Bruss. Check out the first two movies I wrote, directed, produced, and starred in. Sometimes, you know what? Why wait till you're 50 to get a role? Sometimes you gotta just do it yourself. So I made these two movies. Thank you. Love you, Dad. So you can check out the Matchstick Flame and the Matchstick Flame 2 Lanata Bay, free to watch on Tubi. That's like lighting a match, the Matchstick Flame. Also available to watch on Amazon Prime. And I also got a part in a big A-list movie called Sweetwater. Thank you very much. Thank you. I need that. But yeah, that's available to watch on Hulu, other multiple streaming services. Check me out on Craig Bruss on Facebook, the Matchstick Flame movie page on there. Instagram and Twitter, both at the Matchstick Flame 123. You've been an absolutely wonderful audience. I love you. As my grandma would say, oh, bless your hearts.
Milwaukee boy. Look at this Milwaukee boy. What a great job. What a great job. Thank you. Thank you. There you go. Just like the comedy of the one and only Stuart Marino. Let's do this, Stewie. Come on, let's do this.
Hello, everybody. It's good to see you.
Where you been?
I've been around.
You're sticking around.
Hello.
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 Sunda, you sent me like the most beautiful text message a few months ago. I kept, you know how you can like pin a text message?
Oh, no.
It goes to like the top of your text messages. This is some kid shit. This is some shit that you hate on. It'll like, it's like some tech shit. But no, I pinned it because it was such a beautiful message. So thank you very much for that. But I'm happy. What's that?
Was I being mean or pushy?
No, it was a beautiful. I'll show you after. Yeah. It was seriously. You don't remember it. You must have been like stoned or something. But it was a beautiful message.
Well, you better keep these smiles.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. How y'all doing? The whole time you were talking, I can only think how much of a fucking racket college is, and I'm not, dude. It's such a every little class, all those bullshit classes you're making fun of. It's all just like a little business. It's like a little shop, you know. And they just set up a bunch of those, and dude, it's so stupid. Having said that, I dropped out of college, so we had a good time. I stayed for 4 years, which is absolutely absurd. But I did party. What am I here to talk about tonight? I'm a little nervous. Haven't been doing this too much, but if I get the Michael J. Fox fucking shakes, just deal with it. Is everybody cool if I talk about religion? Yeah. Okay, 'cause I'm not gonna. I don't want to hurt anybody's fucking. I guess after your set, like, what does it matter?
Okay to be politically incorrect.
For sure, dude. That's the best shit about this. So, where should I start with this? I'm from New Orleans. And so, it's kind of, I don't think it's like the Bible Belt, but it's like Bible Belt-ish. And so we got some like I know wild churches are everywhere, but like I feel like the South is like a special kind of wild. Like the Christians, the white Christians are unbelievable. The Black Baptists are fucking crazy too. But so I've had, I bailed out of religion probably, I don't know, 25 years ago. I'm 32 years old. I'm bombing right now. Damn it. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. Huh?
Catholic school?
Yeah, I went to Catholic school.
Of course.
And,
With an Italian last name in New Orleans, really you're mobbed up.
yeah, for sure.
Take it from there. Stop reading. Because you know this. It's from your heart.
I got you.
Yes.
Yeah! Anyway, I gotta take this off.
Yeah.
It's too hot in here, baby. Huh?
The voodoo people. And the Italian are funny or superstitious.
Now what happened to me up there? Dude, like my first, it just, from the get-go, it was terrible. So I went to the school called Our Lady of the Lake. And, we had like a play every year, and this is when I was in kindergarten. I was a little fucker when I was in kindergarten. I was like the worst child. I had like bad ADHD. And so there was this one day when my religion teacher was pissing me off, and I fucking threw a marker at this bitch. And is this not funny? I'm bombing.
Catholic school?
I'm good. I need a huh?
We're not laughing because it's interesting.
Finish this.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm nervous.
You threw a marker at the bitch.
I threw a marker at the bitch.
Tell us.
I fucking hit her with a marker. But we had like a play that year, and I didn't get cast for the play. Everybody gets cast for the fucking play, whether you're like a tree or a piece of bark or like one of Jesus's disciples or something like that. But we had like, fucking the Jesus play, like the Christmas Jesus play or whatever. They cast a woman. They cast like a fucking girl, which is pretty indicative of the times now. But and I remember my first confession was super weird because I went in like the little priest's Oval Office or whatever that thing's called, and I basically lied to the guy. That's how I started like my run in religion.
Bless me, Father Bribeston.
Yeah, I know all that shit too. Sit, stand. Yeah. Anyways, I'm Stuart Marino. I'm gonna work this shit out. I'm good.
No way. You're not leaving. One more thing we have to do that no one's done.
What's that?
Can you tell them about the funerals?
We didn't really. It was like.
No.
No, it wasn't crazy.
In New Orleans, what they do at the funerals.
You talking about like New Orleans?
Yes.
Dude, I mean, they're like dancing with caskets and shit like that. They're like they'll have like 7. I don't want to be racist here, but like, the black people. If black people die, you're gonna make like 300 T-shirts with with Deshaun on it, and then everybody's gonna show up, and then when they put the casket in, there's gonna be 6 people carrying the. Anyways, thank you for loosening me up a little bit. I'm Stuart Marino. Thank you very much. I got a little too stoned tonight.
What a tease, man. What a tease. Man, if they were...
Stuart, if you can't find something funny in New Orleans...
Come on.
How about drunk white girls during Mardi Gras?
They're the best.
No, even better.
I have a picture of you when I was a little kid making like a giant big kitty at Mardi Gras.
Oh my God. Wait a minute. What about... Mark, we can't do this as a conversation.
Why not?
Because we can't. Because you know what, though? He's right. You should have stayed your ass up here and finished. And done the whole marching band with the hats tipped to the side.
For sure. I took
Maybe we could just maybe we could do the electric slide doing it. It's electric. Right. Yeah, don't do that. Let me tell you this. I take my husband to a black family reunion, hoping you'll understand, because he does not belong in a black family reunion. And I have like very weird black relatives. Nobody goes to church. There is no Baptist. They talk about people like that. And Mark says, so all of a sudden the electric slide comes out. And I'm like, you know, the old people get up, you can do it. Come on, sugar. We're going to make our party line, right? And Mark says, oh, my God, what is this, the black horror? And my Aunt Lois says, my Uncle Junior Boy says, who is he calling a black? No, Lois said, who is he calling a black whore? And my Uncle Junior Boy says, somebody going to stab this motherfucker. That's what's going to happen. And we have to get out of here because they're always going to stab Mark. And it's like a black language is so different. You know, it's like my husband says, I think your aunt wants you to fix a plate. But she meant fix a plate of food. Fix me a plate. You ever hear that? Yeah. Good. Glad. You're all black. Boom. Close your eyes. You're all black. All right? Open your eyes. If you think there's a dearth of females in comedy, think again. Your comedy concierge is here for you. Let's give it up for Samantha Linderman.
Thank you guys so much for coming out here tonight.
Yes. You're welcome. Yes.
Of course. And please clap for Mark and Sunda together right now. I got pictures of both of you separate, but having you together on stage, it feels good. Sometimes I leave my house and I'm like, there's a problem that I don't live. Like, I live with a roommate, but I don't live with my parents anymore. Shout out. I mean, my dad's like supporting everything, so it's like I basically live with them, but no. But sometimes, you know, it's just me and the dog, and I leave the house and I'm like, I just hear my mom's voice in my head like, are you sure, honey? You're wearing 2 different socks. I just want you to know. Like, we're in the car. Like, we're already in the car. I'm like, it's too late. My mom and I will say I love you like 6 times. Like, she'll call me. Like, I'm in the Uber. She'll be like, I just want you to know I love you. One time my mom was driving me home and it was raining. And she was like, can you play Forever Young by Neil Diamond? I was like, Mom, are you sure? Like, that song makes you cry. And then she was like, no, play it. And then I played it. She started crying. We had to pull over. I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing as women? We need to know ourselves better than that. I'm an LA native, which shocks every Uber driver I meet. You're so different, they say. You know, I just found this out recently, Mark. Uber's not a dating app. And so I don't know what I've been doing. Neither is the dentist. No. I have to like stop talking about the dentist because I have to go back. Ain't that the truth? I went back to the dentist with my mom, and he goes, so when are we going to do the podcast? And then I went to the bathroom with my mom, and she goes, you never say podcast at the dentist ever again. I don't want to hear podcasts until you call me before you pay for the bill. And then we can do a podcast. Now I'm just sharing. No, I'm not at Bath & Body Works anymore. They haven't really been calling. I miss them, though. No, I miss them. They miss me. They miss me. I ran into a coworker at Target, and she was like, what are you up to? And I was like, I'll get back to you. No, I was like, I'm in aisle 3. What are you doing? And I thought we were both doing the same thing right now. Yeah, no, I'm okay too. I know everyone's like, I know. I like forgot I was gonna come up. I was really watching you guys. I've been having such a good time watching you guys all night. I like spend my whole no, seriously. It's like it's just good to be here. And then does that make me not a narcissist? No. My cousin was like, every stand-up comedian has to be a narcissist a little bit, and I was like, that is 100% correct. And I was like, so am I your favorite narcissist? No. I was like, am I the best at it though? Okay, the most narcissistic thing I've said lately was this. The most narcissistic thing I've said lately was, and I said this like in such with my whole chest, like it was wrong. Like I said, I think that these therapists in training, I might be too complex for them. Upset the whole crowd. I don't want to tell you who the crowd was. I don't want to tell you who the crowd was or what holiday dinner it was at. But it was just, and whatever. No, people ask you how's Passover and you have to say it wasn't that bad. You know, like that's the best answer. It was awesome. It was awesome. Because like when I was younger, it was like my grandfather, we call him Zadie. It was like, like you don't have your phone out. Like even if you drove there, you pretend like you walk. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was like a little bit of like a song and dance, whatever. Pico Robertson's song and dance. But now it's like a whole new generation. And it's like, it's kind of fun to see. It's like everyone's more chill. It's like you keep waiting. I'm like, who's going to yell? Who's going to break? The kid gets like this close to the old person's face. I'm like, oh. That old stuff starts coming. I'm like, is everyone okay? But we're new now. We're new. We are more docile as we get older. I've seen. I don't know. My Zadie, he used to play solitaire on the computer, and now he just plays like Rummy Cube in real life. It's just like seeing it. It's so interesting. I don't know. People getting older. Seeing my grandma have to hide snacks where the plates are. It's so funny. I mean, it's sad, but it's funny. She's like, what is his blood sugar right now? That is my family. Sometimes people ask me if I'm from New York, and I'm like, no, I'm just Jewish. When I was that's what it is. I sound like it's just like it's like a incessant, fast-paced worry. Where it's like, where are we going? Where are we going? That's what it is. I saw this guy delivering McDonald's Postmates to my house. I was sitting at my dinner. I was like, what can I talk about? And I was like, Uber, Postmates. Interesting. This is funny. These are the interactions I have, though. But he goes, is this McDonald's for you, ma'am? A lot of young women get upset by ma'am, but I'm like, no, someone's speaking to me, like I just take it as like a win, when I used to have a shaved head, and I left my water bottle on the like conveyor belt at the supermarket, and this older man behind me was like, ma'am, and then I start going, ma'am, like where is she? And it was about me. It was my water bottle. But I was like, how do you know from the back? That's crazy. That it was I was like, where is this woman? And it was me. It was hilarious. Shaving your head. Well, like, yeah, that was a really funny thing that I did. I mean, I did it for my whole college dorm to bond. That's what I thought it should be. I was like, what are you guys up to? Like, we could all put our masks on and head to the bathroom. One kid did, leave the dorms 2 days later. No, I'm kidding. That was unrelated. But yeah, I have a dog. Does anybody else here have a dog? I love my dog. She gets me on walks. Everybody knows that. She's a pit bull lab named Rhino. And yet really short. Like there's this short white man with dreadlocks. And I don't like to talk shit about him because he has a motorcycle and a girlfriend. So it's like, why am I? Like, who am I? Like, who am I? Like, they wear matching outfits. Like, he's doing great. But he's like, can I pet her? And I'm like, Rhino, come here, because she has trauma with men. Okay, this is going to be the last thing I say. I want somebody to talk about me the way I talk about my dog. You know what I mean? Where they're like, she's not nice to men, but you know what? She is a real cutie. Like, what? I don't know. Like, I feel like we're so much nicer to dogs than we are to ourselves. I'm like, she could bite you, but she's a real sweetheart. If she gets her food on time, like, I wish somebody could do that for me. But he was like, no, I used to be a dog trainer. Can I just say hello? And I was like, can you sign a form? Can I film a video? Are you trying to ruin my life? I live here, sir. And then he started giving me advice, and I was like, if anybody needs advice here, it's you. But stop by the LA School of Comedy, you guys, and give it up for yourselves. You can find me on Instagram at SamLikeTBH, or soon to be on LinkedIn, and here at LA School of Comedy. See you guys soon.
Right. Sam, she never fails, right, Nick? Always. Nick, always, right? Always something new. By the way, if you ever thought about doing a podcast, you're here. You might as well do it. That's why you see Jason. Ham I am. And I've heard from you people that my hair is in the way of the camera. Just tell me next time. Just call Samantha or call Jason and say she's blocking it again. It's gotten bigger, right? It got bigger since last time? All right, both of them. All right, yeah, I wish. Oh, my God. I just need a hand. Let's give it up for Nick Hanrahan. Come on, let's do this. Nicky, come on, Nicky boy.
Israeli girls are so hot. I might have some questionable takes about that whole war going on. Sorry. My name's Nick. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you guys. I just got back from a trip to Mammoth. I snowboarded. Anyone snowboard ski here? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, tried it. Falling on your ass a lot.
Yeah.
It's what you do, yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, so I was there. I was realizing there, like, the ski lodge is a really horny place. Like, it's kind of like the vibe of an airport where it's like, you know, you got all these people from all these different parts of the country, you know, everyone's got their endorphins running because they're, you know, snowboarding or whatever. And I was just there, like, and, you know, it's a rich person sport, so, you know, everyone's doing well. So I was just wondering, like, why is this girl looking nice in, like, 20 layers of clothing? Like, in a juggernaut suit, basically. And I don't know what it was. It was just, like, you see some wild things at the ski lodge. I saw Santa Claus in a MAGA hat and American flag booty shorts. Picture Santa in a MAGA hat. It kind of makes sense. I don't know why. It just somehow. But yeah, I don't know if you can tell. I got my face is a little sunburned right now. But I don't know. This happens every fucking summer where I'm like, you know, I'm part Indian. Like, I'm brown. I don't need to fucking use sunscreen or whatever. And then summer comes around, and then I'm like, okay, why am I missing a layer of skin all of a sudden? You know? So it's gone now. And now everyone's like, why you look like a raccoon? So now I am... Yeah, so now... You know, okay, so I'm Indian, right? So, you know the stereotype about, like, Indians are cheap or whatever? So, okay, I grew up here, California. I was, like, relatively well off. My mom grew up poor in India. And so, like I've been to where she's from, and I'm like, okay, why am I cheap? Why am I, like, sitting here at the gas station, like, all right, if it's 5 cents less across the street, I can save 50 cents if I go over there, and then now I have 30 minutes of parking. Like, I grew up here. Like, I don't know why I'm cheap. There's something there. Anyways, so there was this one time when I was in India, and a monkey stole my Coca-Cola, and it was at a temple. You got all these Indians praying, and there's monkeys, like, up on the wall, like, being mischievous as they do, and I just... Like, I don't know, they can tell you're foreign over there, you know, obviously I was, so the monkey came and he could tell I was a bitch, so he just ran up to me, and I was like, threw the Coke to my brother, because he started running at me, and then my brother just like, fuck that, moved to the side, piece of shit, and then, yeah, monkey got my Coke. I think he tasted some of it too, because I later saw it get launched over the temple, and it was open. So, yeah, monkeys don't like Coke, but they'll fucking steal it from you. Anyways, so I am a software engineer. That is what I do for work. Yeah, just right in the stereotype. Sorry about that. So I go... and I don't talk to anyone all day. So this is the most social I have this week. So, yeah. And, like, I've been realizing, like, there's things about my job that, like, make it, that just are just so unnatural. Like, I'll just, like, look up and be like, holy shit, I've been inside for 3 days. And then, like, I just, like... have been realizing recently, like, holy shit, I need to get outside and, like, get some sun. So I've been, like, walking around, taking these, like, mental health walks, and I fucking hate them. I'm, like, walking around like, oh, this is fucking bullshit, why do I have to do this? And then I'm just, like, come out of it, and I'm, like, in a better mood, so it's working. But, yeah, it's, like, also a very antisocial job. In engineering, there's this thing called stand-up 2, where in the beginning of the day, everyone just, like, you know, talks for 30 seconds about what they're doing, you know, lies. Oh, it'll take a week. It'll take fucking a month or whatever. Or it'll take 2 days, and then, like, you just say it's a week, and then you bought yourself some, I don't know, time to walk around or something. So, but yeah, like I just have been realizing like, oh my gosh, I need to fucking just talk to people. So like when I go on these walks, I just like walk up to people like, how you doing, motherfucker? So that's my daily human connection right there. So yeah, my job is so serious though. Like I hate how serious it is sometimes and how seriously the people who run it take it. Like our servers crashed recently, and I just wanted to like react to the post with like fire emoji, crying laughing emoji, major L, fucking fuck them kids. I work in education, so yeah, yeah, yeah. I wish I could just, you know, the veil of professionalism is just shitty. I don't know. Okay, cool. This will be my last one. I'm glad tax season is over. I feel like tax season is dividing in that, like, you get these rule-following ass people who, like, are just excited to report to the government about their shit, and they, like, get on their high horse. They're like, oh my gosh, did you do your taxes? I did mine in January. Did you itemize? And then, like, I like to fuck with those people and be like, yeah, I'm just thought I'd do it, like, you know, April 15th or whatever, you know, the day of. And, yeah, they don't like that. But, yeah, all right, my name is Nick. You can find me on Instagram, Nick the Hanrahan, and thank you.
You gotta do something about that, more about that, because it's the funniest thing when it does happen, because you know what Americans will ask you when you're dark? They'll say things to me like, do you tan when you go in the sun?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, well, when you put your hand on fire, do you burn? You know what I mean? It's a stupid question.
It still happens to you, right?
All the time, from Persians darker than me. And they hate when you call them black. I always tell them. I always say Persians are the new black meat, and I could prove it, because they shop and return everything the next day. I'm just bringing them all in. Because you know something? I'm always on the high wire, but now you've got the comedy of the one and only Aaron McIntyre. Let him hear you. Come on, give it up, Aaron. Woo! There you go.
Oh boy. Hi guys.
Hey.
Getting the vapors. I'm not going to talk about penis, although I do have a beautiful one. Just so you know. No, I want to talk about something funny, you know, because it's a comedy show. So I want to talk about abortion. Because, you know, I don't want to say abortion because I think they should change the name. It's really bad marketing. Abortion just sounds bad. You know, abortion sounds kind of, you know, a little too intense. So, I want to talk about reproductive freedom, right? Okay, so here's the deal. You know, there's all these people who say that they don't want women to have reproductive freedom, right? They're other, you know, white douchebags, kind of like me. And I think it's a time to look at reproductive in a new way, because reproductive means you're reproducing something, right? So you and your partner or your test tube, whatever, is reproducing a child. So I was thinking, you know, the way to get around this whole little loophole thing is that if every couple or woman in test tube incorporated. You just incorporate, because incorporation, they can't do shit to you because you are producing something. You're like a fucking Volkswagen factory, you know? And then if you want to stop production, fuck you, right? Fuck you. I'm going to just, you know, I'm going to stop the assembly line here. I'm going to slow things down a little bit. I'm going to wait a few years until I got some, you know, some money in the bank, or, you know, maybe a husband, or, you know, a husband with money would be good. But, yeah, I just wanted to talk about that because I think it's really important to talk about things that are, you know, kind of cheery, you know, because nothing's more cheery to us fucking woke pepperoni baby pizza eating Democrats than abortion, you know, because, you know, I mean, I always thought about that. It's like, you know, Bill and Hillary sitting at the dinner table, you know, and Bill's like, so Hillary, I always fucking do Jimmy Stewart. I think every fucking thing. So, Hillary. Anyway, Hillary, what the heck is for dinner tonight? And Hillary goes, oh, it's the Henderson boy down the street. He's a little bony, but he chopped up nicely and went on the Asiago cheese made with dead goat meat and or dead goat milk, I guess. It's what cheese is made of, right? It's not made out of goats. Milk, thank you. So let's see here. What else was a part of that whole deal? Oh, yeah. The other thing is, all these right to life people are like, yeah, it's a baby. It's a baby. It's like, it's a fucking fetus. Okay, it's not born yet. It's a fucking fetus. It's not a baby until it breathes its first breath. So then they're saying, oh, so you're saying you could have an abortion up to day, whatever the fuck it is, right before, like the day before the baby's going to be born, you could abort it. And it's like, well, I mean, technically, but I don't think that anybody would want to do that after carrying something for 9 months, I mean, wouldn't you want to just, okay, I'll just go through with it, So I don't think that a lot of people would do that. But the thing about the right to life is they say, it has a right, it's an innocent life, and so it deserves to live, right? Even though it's just a little peanut down like this. But it has a right to life, but they're the ones who are all about, capital punishment. Kill people. Kill people who kill people. And it's like, okay, so kill people who kill people. So that means that you kill the life that has made a mistake, right? It's like they made a mistake. They, pulled out a gun, shot somebody, stabbed them, whatever. So I started thinking about that mistake, that mistake that calls upon that. And then I started thinking, yeah, but the mother is the one that has the baby in her belly. And what if it was a mistake? Something to think about. Anyway, I'm Aaron McIntyre. And, you can see me at Aaron McIntyre on Instagram, and don't look for me anywhere else. Well, Hillary. I'm not very good at that. I'm not very good at that one either. I do very few, and I just kind of fall into them, and then and then I go, oh shit, I can do that. Can
you give us the spelling of your name for them to find it, please?
Oh, that's another part of my bed I could do. Thank you. Shit, you are fucking good. It's Aaron, not Aaron, and not Aaron. Okay, it's Aaron. It's not E-R-I-N, not Aaron. It's not Aaron, A-A-R-O-N. It's Aaron, A-E-R-O-N, McIntyre. And don't call me Aaron. It's Aaron, which is much more, kind of has a certain je ne sais quoi. And don't call me Aaron also because it's supposed to be anonymous.
Okay. That was good. That was so good. I hope you have fun with us.
Yeah, I had a great time.
Yes. I'm very abusive to everybody here, as you could tell. But I gotta tell you, if people tell you you're funny, you probably are, but you won't know until you take it from the page to the stage. That's right. And you guys laugh about it, but it's true because beautiful things happen here. And again, we're trying to get everybody to start getting their content going. I edit, but he edits. He edits. He does all that stuff. He can help you with your social media. He can bang it up, bang it out. Remember, everything you do on social media should propel you to your website. That's what it should be doing. So you got to work on those things. You got to work on your headshots because when things come through here, that's why you have to say your name correctly so they don't call us and say, who is the guy doing political humor with the glasses? Why don't you two do a podcast? That'll be funny after our conversation today. We just had a conversation about that. He said miscarriage is not a baby. But when you're trying to get pregnant, it's amazing how that all changes, isn't it? But it's true. So stop that. He's like, you better stop that. But it is. If you're a woman, okay, and you have a miscarriage, you lost your baby. They keep saying, my mother was the same way. No, my mother goes, you're not the only. Oh, she was so mean. I had a C-section. She goes, stop acting like you're the only one. Just had a C-section. It hurts. They should call it B-section. Looks like a bayonet wound. But anyway, if people tell you you're funny, probably you are. Go find Jason Ham if you need a copy of this. And remember that your comedy concierge is always at your service, Samantha Linderman. And a special thank you to Mark Zaffron. Seriously, thank you, Mark, for everything you do. Congratulations, this is Craig, his third time up here, because LA School of Comedy, we work. Good night.